technology changes and things happen. And so this has been quite a morning getting this together, but I am so excited to introduce to you this beautiful, amazing woman, Kiayana West. So we are here, and I just wanted to preface this by saying that I've had a little break from my podcasting days, and I was just thinking about these amazing connections that we make, and especially with Reiki, which I think we'll hopefully talk a lot about. And so I feel like there's something really, really special in the people that I get to connect with through Reiki and through energy work. And I truly believe the universe is bringing us together. So as you're hopping on to Facebook, before I introduce you to Kiayana, please feel free to share this video with anybody that you think might be interested in watching. And if you're curious about Reiki, this is going to be a great conversation. If you're curious about business and small business, energy healing, all of these topics, this is going to be a great conversation. So without further ado, is that what they say? I would like to introduce you to Kiayana. Hi.
Hello. So happy to be here with you guys. Super nervous. But I hope everyone's having a really beautiful Saturday morning.
Thank you, Kiayana. So don't be nervous. I know it takes a little bit of practice to get used to these videos and being out there in the world, but I just feel like I'm really excited to have you as the first person that I'm doing these conversations with, because you have this energy about you that radiates and is powerful and beautiful. And so I would love for you to just talk a little bit about some of the modalities that you practice, because I know you've got a lot of different beautiful tools under your belt. So do you just want to say a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Oh gosh, well, I do quite a bit lately, actually. Recently got my second degree Reiki certification through Alicia. And that in itself was just a really, really beautiful experience. I had an interest in Reiki for some time, but life had been kind of hectic, so it kind of went around like this. It was just kind of around and around before I was actually drawn back to it again. I learned about it probably almost a decade ago. I had never heard about it before then. But was just drawn to it. But yes, I do practice Reiki. I also read tarot. I incorporate it into my spiritual practices. And that's pretty much all I know to share. Like, I'm super nervous. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, so let's talk. First, what I wanted to ask you, because I'm hoping to ask all of my guests these questions. So do you know your sun sign in astrology, your moon sign, and your rising sign?
I do. I'm an Aquarius sun, a Scorpio moon, and an Aquarius rising.
Oh, wow. Okay. And are you big into astrology? Do you follow it, or how do you feel?
I do follow it. Like, I'm not a huge expert or anything, but I do like to follow it. I'm digging more into my own chart and figuring out, where the placements lie in my chart and how that associates with my path. I'm actually quite surprised how much, like, what I've been going through the past year lines up with astrology. It's just like amazing. And it's so much deeper than just like, horoscopes, which is, I think like the majority, pick up on the horoscopes, but it's so much deeper than that. It's, I don't know. It's just really intriguing for me.
Yeah. And are you in your Saturn return, or have you gone through that? I can't remember how.
I am in my Saturn return. Yes.
So is that
in my Saturn return?
Yeah. Is that what's really, are you feeling that?
I am feeling it. It's interesting because it was around my 28th birthday this past February. that I started going through the major aspect of my spiritual awakening. Like, and it sounds so cliche that like right around my like 28th birthday that things started happening. I don't know. I started picking up on energy, and I didn't realize what I was feeling was energy. I just noticed that I would be around certain people or be in certain places, and all of a sudden emotions that didn't necessarily
Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know what it is. I just keep hearing this like tapping. It's not happening now. Something is hitting the phone or the headset maybe. I've had that happen before when I have earrings on. It'll tap on the wire, like just slightly. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're totally fine.
I don't hear
is that
it
better?
now. Yeah. Oh, wait, I just heard it. Huh. It's this little tapping sound. Let's try it. Yeah, I don't hear it now. Maybe if you hold that, maybe it's hitting something. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, that's better. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. That was so
no,
good.
It's totally fine. But I don't know. I just around my 28th birthday, I started seeing 1111 a lot, which I had never really been big into numerology. So at first I was just like, okay, this is weird. This is a coincidence. And on top of that, again, just picking up on at that time what I didn't know to be other people's energy. And feelings and emotions and things like that. There was one instance I went to the gas station, and the gentleman that was pumping my gas, I don't know, doing his thing, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, I looked at him and I just like felt this sense of sadness, and I had no idea why, because I was perfectly fine. So it's really weird how that happened, but it's definitely been quite a year, a lot of trials. Feel like definitely been tested and pushed in ways that I hadn't before. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And so we'll get into the Reiki and the spiritual growth and all of that, but do you feel like though maybe those trials were kind of preparing you for this journey and actually guiding you maybe even into this work like in its own way?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Honestly, I've been a little emotional all this morning anyway, so I'm trying to keep balanced.
Yeah.
I put on vetiver essential oil to kind of help ground me.
Yeah. Oh, I love the vetiver.
But yeah, I definitely say everything that I've been through up until this point has been preparing me. And I had no idea that it would be preparing me for this. Like, no idea.
And what do you mean when you say this?
Well, when I was growing up, my grandma always used to tell me that you were blessed from the womb. My grandma was a very spiritual woman anyway. And I never really, she would say it and they'd be like, okay, yay, I'm blessed, But I don't know, especially coming into this year, blessed just has a whole different meaning to me. And I never expected, like, to be on this video with you right now. I never expected to be here. I was never one that wanted to be in the spotlight. I was never one that wanted to talk in front of people. That just wasn't my thing. I was like, I just want to stay in the background. I don't want anyone to see me. And there's always been like this tiny part of me deep within that knew that I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And this year has had me face so many fears, being in front of people, just completely stepping outside of my comfort zone. And it's brought me to realize that my purpose here is much bigger than myself. And that in order to live out my purpose here, I'm going to have to put myself in positions and situations that may be uncomfortable, but it's for my growth and also the growth of others, because I feel like by walking my path, that's how I will be able to impact others on their own. And so it's humbling and uplifting in its own way, So I just never expected to be here, like even in this moment. It's so surreal.
It's so beautiful. And I think it's great for anyone who's listening to kind of have that affirmation that sometimes we just are guided, and there's these paths that are really scary and it's not comfortable. But once you start in that direction, there's really no turning back, right?
Yeah. That's the truth. That is
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah. And so what do you feel like um, has been the biggest reward so far? Is there like one thing that you could say has been the biggest reward on this journey that you've been on?
Learning how to love myself. I've struggled with that all my life. And even now, I have days where I still struggle with it. I think we all do because we're all human. But Reiki brought a level of love to my life that I didn't even think was possible. And so I would say that definitely loving myself would be the biggest. Definitely. It, it's it's a beautiful thing, you know.
Thank you for sharing that. That's huge and vulnerable. So thank you so much for sharing that. Um, do you happen to know? I wanted to ask you too if you know your human design type. There's 5 types. Do you
Oh
know?
yes.
If you're like,
I am a manifesting generator.
yay.
I,
Have you been doing much with the human design, or do you feel like you follow that?
I've been learning a little more about it. Um I'm still I mean, it's a lot to it. It's it's a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
But in doing a little research that I have found that I connect with it a lot. Um, even down to like having to listen to my gut feel, because being an Aquarius, I'm in my head a lot. Like in my head will talk me out of things where, my gut might be like, no, you need to do this. And my head will be like, no, but learning
Ego.
more about like my human design, I don't know, it helped me, honestly. What I have learned thus far has helped me to show myself more compassion towards myself, to know that, this is simply who I am. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
you know and it started explaining to me, it making sense of a lot of things that I do, a lot of ways that I think, simply by the way I'm designed.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing to me. um and speaking of the human design aspect, being a manifesting generator, it made sense to me also how, like, I'll get an idea and I want to go ahead and get it started like really quick and just like jump into it. Learning that sometimes I need to take a bit of a sacred pause and let people know like what's going on around me before I like go trying to change anything and everything. And it's just like stirring everybody else up. But I'm like on this, like I have my blinders on and I'm like razor focused on this one thing and I just want to get it done and do what I need to do to get it done. Um, so definitely learning how to take that sacred pause and reflect on, take a break every now and again, because
Yeah.
burnout is a thing.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool because manifesting generator, you're a manifester and a generator together. You're a generator first, though. And so, yeah, generators are meant to wait to respond. Manifestors, just straight manifestors, they have to really like let people know, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But as a manifesting generator, really, you're here to like blaze that path and just like go for it and do all of those things. And when they're lighting you up and you're doing the things that light you up, like you do have that energy because you've got that sacral defined, the generator in you that's like, you can. So it's more about maybe like imagining yourself getting all the way to the end of projects. Like, do I have the energy to like bring this to completion? And if so, just going for it. And like, it's okay to have all those projects going and lots of things unfinished too, but as
Yeah.
long as you're doing what lights you up, like, you're
Yeah.
meant to. I
And
love that.
that's definitely what I found. Doing what I love has given me like a whole inspiration and motivation to push forward. It's it's not, I don't know, it's not a chore. It's beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful. I know after the second degree Reiki attunements, I was just like ready to go. And so I started like planning what I wanted to do, building the website because I knew what I wanted. And like when things didn't go exactly how I wanted them to go at first or how I had hoped, I got kind of discouraged.
Oh,
There was this period, but it took time for me to realize that there were still some things that I needed to deal with inside of me. There was time that I needed to take to reflect, on what I had accomplished thus far, plan ahead, but take some time to rest, because I truly do believe that I am coming into a place where it's going to be full speed ahead, and I'm going to wish I had taken the time to just, you know, focus on me a little bit. But it's awesome.
yeah. I would love to hear a little bit about with your Reiki journey, like how it started. Do you remember like where you first heard of Reiki or where you first got the idea of it, or how did that
Yes,
happen?
it was before I ever moved to Oregon. I think I'd say it's been about a decade, which is interesting. Like it's been about a decade since I learned about it, and now here, a decade later, I'm actually practicing it. Um, but I was in North Carolina, and a friend of mine was into like alternative medicine, and he had trouble with his back, and so he went to see a Reiki practitioner. Like I don't know what she did in the, well, I know now what she did in the room, but back then I had no idea what she did in the room. All I witnessed was that he was having trouble standing up straight when he walked in, and he walked out standing up straight with like very minimal, like from pain to maybe some minimal discomfort, like
Oh,
from one
wow.
session.
Yeah.
And that just amazed me at that point. That was like my first taste of it. And then I think a few years ago, it kind of resurfaced again. I don't remember how, but I had decided, I had made a goal that, I wanted to learn Reiki. I wanted to learn more about Reiki. And that was around the time that we had just moved to Oregon. And I don't know, it was always in the back of my mind, but because of my mom's health and everything that was going on, it wasn't like my main focus. Like my mom was kind of my main focus at that time. And then after she passed, it was like, I don't know. I don't, it wasn't a whole year, maybe 6 months after she passed, I started looking into it again. And shortly after, like I would say my spiritual awakening started. Um, and I found a practitioner here. Well, I would say honestly, she found me because I work for a paint company. She came in to buy paint for her practice,
Oh,
and I
I love
found
it.
out that she did Reiki, and and so she would come in, and I was like, yeah, I need to make an appointment with you because I'm really curious about it. I want to have a Reiki session, And she would come in, I'd forget about it, She'd come back in, I'd say I'm gonna do it, then forget about it. Um, And then finally, I don't know what the final nudge was, but she had come in again. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Her name is Chelsea. She was Monarch Healing Therapies, like in Junction City. She's an amazing person. And she gave me my first Reiki session. And what stood out to me is that she's actually of the Christian faith. And not to say there aren't Reiki practitioners of the Christian faith, but it's still one of those things that's kind of growing, I guess, and I just didn't expect for that to be. And so to me, that was kind of like a sign to me that, this is okay, it's all good. Because again, growing up Christian, it's still, you know, depending on how conservative or whatnot that you are, sometimes, kind of frowned upon. Reiki can be frowned upon by some, not all, but by some it can be frowned upon within the Christian faith. And so having my first session with a Reiki practitioner who was of the Christian faith was huge for me. And we were able to incorporate my spiritual beliefs into the session through prayer, which was absolutely beautiful. And when I left, I don't know, I just felt so much lighter. Like it's hard to describe, but I just felt so much lighter. And the messages that came through to her during the session really resonated with me. And it was just beautiful. And like in between this time that I was going back and forth with her, I had actually gotten in contact with you. I don't remember the exact time that it happened, but that they kind of overlapped a bit. And like, and after I had the first session, I had kind of decided, okay, I want to learn Reiki. Like I was positive at that point, but again, I kept putting it off. And then because finances and stuff weren't where they needed to be, I kept putting it off. and like, and it was like you kept coming forward, and it was just like this gentle nudge from spirit through you that it's okay. And you had such a light about you that was just completely hard to, I couldn't deny it. I was like, this just feels so right. And it's just like, God is making a way for this to happen. This is where you need to be. Just do it. So, and I thank you for that too, because you've been absolutely wonderful. You do so much good, like for the community and for women, and you're an inspiration. And just like knowing you is huge, and you've just been a major blessing in my life. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
There were some really cool synchronicities too, I feel like, that just kind of unfolded, as you were coming, because you had to travel to Portland, right, to take Reiki. And I think at first you were just going to take level 1.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, maybe you should just stay.
Yeah.
For all of it.
It was meant to be. That was where I was meant to be. And that the Reiki attunements just brought me to a whole nother level, spiritually and energetically. Like even now I have chills just thinking about it. It's just the way things lined up. It just moves smoothly. It's like acting in faith. It tells the universe that, you believe that this can happen. And it's like you taking the first step kind of starts that domino effect to things lining up how you need it. Like it's wonderful. I mean, I just feel so blessed and so fortunate. And it's just the beginning.
Well, it's just the beginning. And I would love if you want to talk about that, because you're not only practicing Reiki on yourself anymore.
No, like I had practiced on me and on friends, but I hadn't had an outside client yet. And as far as Reiki, things had kind of calmed down over the past couple of months, but also over the past couple of months, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff within. And it's like, after I had a breakthrough, which was a major breakthrough around Scorpio season. But anyway, after that breakthrough, I started kind of leveling out again. And out of nowhere, well, I don't want to say out of nowhere, because I believe it was divinely intervened. That is what I truly believe. She found out about me through the videos I had been doing on Facebook, and Facebook came second, YouTube came first, and all of that was kind of encouraged by spirit. All of it was. So I know that that's what got me to this point here, is following spirit. And so through one of those videos, she said that, mentioned that it had really resonated, which really touched my heart. So again, like I had said before, putting myself out there, putting myself in an uncomfortable position, like anybody familiar with the tarot, the hangman, all about putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, has, provided me with this opportunity. I have my first outside client, and I'm really, really excited about it. I don't know. Again, it's just so humbling, and it's just a blessing that someone would allow me to help them. I mean, it it's huge, you know, because it's not easy to reach out for help. I know for me, it's not easy to reach out for help. So having someone, you know, extend and willing to allow me to help them through whatever they're going through is huge. So I'm super excited about having my first client since since I got my second degree Reiki certification. It's so awesome.
I'm so excited for you because it's gonna just, I mean, the doors are opening, right?
Yes, they're
And
opening.
so, I'm so excited. Can you tell us a little bit about your YouTube videos and your Facebook videos, and like what were you doing on, how were you showing up on video?
Um, well, there's a few readers that I had started following on YouTube, but even then I hadn't really said that I was going to have a YouTube channel. Just the thought of being on camera terrified me horribly. So that wasn't a thing. But for some reason, I kept feeling a gentle nudge. It started out as a gentle nudge, and then it started coming through dreams. And I was like, okay, Holy Spirit, are you saying that this is what I need to do? You know, because I'm kind of stubborn. And I'm kind of stubborn, especially when I'm being nudged to do something that's really uncomfortable. And but I wasn't really prepared. I didn't have a plan on how I was going to do it. I just set up a YouTube account and I started doing collective readings for the astrological signs on YouTube. And it's still just like an itty bitty baby channel, but that for me was a huge step because number one, not that many people know that I read tarot. Because in some cases it is taboo, you know, to even
Mhm.
talk about tarot. Um, but that's another thing that I kind of wanted to bring to the forefront was to kind of share the message that tarot is just a tool. You know, it's the intention that you set, and it really helps me to connect with spirit on another level. It really helps me to tune into energies on another level, especially with me being a very visual person. And so it really helps me to connect and receive the messages that I need to receive. And so I started that YouTube channel. And then after I did that for a little bit, I don't know, I just felt another nudge to start posting little videos on Instagram. And then Facebook was the last one, but Facebook seems to be where it has flourished the most, or the quickest, I should say. Like, I honestly, Facebook wasn't even on the radar at all. I didn't plan on doing videos on Facebook. Um, After I finally got my website up, I decided, well, it would be good to have a business page, but I still didn't plan on doing videos. That came way later. And I just felt inspired to start doing these little morning medicines. And so that's kind of how that got started on Facebook. So that's where I am now.
What
Again,
is the
just
morning
because,
medicine?
well, morning medicine, it started out as me just pulling some cards in the morning, like a message from spirit on how, you know, what you can expect through the day or what you should take with you through the day, you know, just something encouraging. Um, and again, these are just like collective readings. So sometimes they may resonate with you, sometimes they may not. But usually an inspiring message can relate to most anyone, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I started doing, just these short 15-minute morning medicine videos. If I don't have time to video, I'll just pull cards and, you know, post the video, not post the video, but post a picture of the reading with a little description, you know. But yeah, I just thought it would be something neat to do.
I love that. I would love if you, when we're done with this, go into the comments of this video and put a link to that. Are you doing it on your business page?
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I did for 11/11, November 11th, seemed to be really popular. I didn't expect that. I
Yay.
didn't expect it to draw as much attention as it did. Again, I'm just shocked every time something happens like this.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. So
definitely.
do you have kind of a daily rhythm or a daily practice that you do?
Well, I do, like, I work 2 jobs outside of Reiki, and, outside of Reiki and readings, I work 2 jobs, so it is hard. Mine is typically very quick, and it usually happens while I'm getting ready in the morning, but I'll usually say a quick prayer, and I'll give thanks to, Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, my angels, spirit guides, everyone, and I'll thank them in the morning. um, I'll ask for Holy Spirit to surround me with white light of protection, as I go about my day, help to give me strength, peace of mind, and heart as I go about my day. Um, and when I don't have to be to work really early, sometimes I will incorporate Reiki and give myself a Reiki session. Or sometimes I end up just sending Reiki to someone else. It's kind of like whatever I feel led to do, you know? But that's typically what I'll do in the morning. Um, I'm speaking into existence that one day I'll have more time in the mornings to do, like, more, but right now it's quick. But what I found, that it doesn't have to be like this dramatic ritual. It's all about your connection to God, or your connection to source, or whatever you subscribe to. That's all that really matters. It doesn't have to be something fancy. It doesn't have to be something long and drawn out. Whatever resonates, whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you or helps you to feel connected, is what I have discovered.
I love that. I love that. And have you faced much challenge in like your community, your spiritual community, or at church with people? Like, are you feeling judgment about this path you're taking, or how's that journey been for you?
Well, honestly, I haven't gotten much pushback, but I also haven't, like, announced it much. Besides, well, I share my post, but I haven't really had anyone approach me about it. That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting. Like, I had expected, maybe it's because it hasn't been seen, maybe. I'm not too sure. But I haven't I haven't felt much pushback on it or much judgment on it. The thing about my church family is that one thing I love about them is I've always felt unconditional love. Always. I've never really felt judged. It is, I'm not gonna, like, deny it and say it's not a concern, or that I wasn't concerned about it. But honestly, like, since I've started on this path, I have felt more connected to God than I ever have. Like, it's it's beautiful. Um and it's one of those things where I kind of it's taken and that's why I really think that Reiki has helped so much, because it's taken me loving myself and not worrying so much about what other people think of me, to finally be solid and grounded in what I truly believe. Cuz I was raised in a Christian home. I love God, I love Jesus, like, I love my angels. My faith in that has not changed. However, my spiritual practices has, and that doesn't necessarily line up to a lot of, I don't know, what's written in the Bible, so to speak. But I believe in my spirit and in my soul that what I'm doing is what I'm here to do. And there's not going to be anything that anyone else can really say to change my mind about that. And on the flip side of the coin, another thing that I would really like people to know, and I want people to be comfortable enough to come to me no matter what their faith is, um, whether they believe or don't believe in a higher power. Like, I I want to be able to help people no matter what path they're on. And that's another beautiful thing about Reiki, is that there's no set rules, there's no set belief patterns that you have to have in order to experience what it is, and in order for it to change your life. So it's yeah.
That's so beautiful. Yay. So you are offering sessions. Are you doing in person? Are you doing distance? What are you seeing for your Reiki practice at this point? What are you hoping to really
um
bring in these next couple months?
I enjoy face to face. I really do. Like I've been sending Reiki at a distance, um, but I really do enjoy face to face too. So I'll say both. Like I'm open to, either or. Um, it is it's awesome being able to work with someone face to face though. I really do enjoy it being in that same space. And I don't know if it's an energy thing or what have you, but I just enjoy it. um, which is odd for me because I'm typically kind of, I wouldn't say standoffish, but up until a year ago, I really did keep my distance when it came to people. But after learning Reiki and gaining my Reiki sisters and everything, it's just like a whole new love and connection. And I just want to share it with others. Like, I just want to share it with others. I want to help build the community up. And like, I don't know. It's it's just awesome. It's just awesome. um, but yeah, as far as what I'm offering, distance, I can do in person, I can do um in the Lane County area. I am willing to travel. That's all on my website. Um, and I also do offer the divination readings through tarot. I dabble in a little bit of runes, but I don't really incorporate that too much.
Oh,
Still learning.
I love Ruth.
And I am more than willing to combine readings with Reiki. Usually I'll do the Reiki first and the reading afterwards. I find that that's what works best for me. But yeah.
Yay, I love that. And you've been dabbling a bit in the essential oil world too. Do
Oh,
you want to say anything
yes.
about that abundance
Oh,
frequency of
Lord,
oil?
yes. I love essential oils. Thank you, Alicia, for introducing me because it has changed my life. Like, after it took doing some research, but I found that essential oils help to raise your vibration. And it's so awesome. It's I like to use it for meditation. Um, I really do. I found that frankincense has become my best friend.
Mhm.
I find that when I put it on in a matter of seconds, I literally feel elevated. It's just it's just an amazing feeling. And I do like to incorporate essential oils with my Reiki practice as well. I find that it really helps me to tune in and also helps me to stay grounded because I really like using the vetiver. Vetiver is awesome. um,
It's kind of
but
addicting.
yeah, and it's like when I got into essential oils, every time somebody would tell me something is wrong, I'm like, well, have you tried essential oils? Have you tried? I'm pretty sure this would help. You should try this. So awesome. Works for everything. Like, I don't think there's not a use. Like, I think they cover the board when it comes to essential oils. Um, and I had a lot of trouble with my sinuses and things. And so I started using doTERRA's Breathe and peppermint. Oh my gosh, peppermint. It will open up everything. And it's just like so amazing. It really is.
I
Um,
love it.
I use Melaleuca a lot when I'm in my feelings. Um,
Mhm.
I'll rub some on my chest, and it really also helps me to calm and center. Uh, so yeah, definitely use essential oils. I recommend them to anyone. If you haven't tried them, please do. It's
Aw, and
awesome.
if you ever, when you get that little scratchy throat, I don't know if you've tried this yet, but anytime I get like a scratchy throat where you know that you're like, okay, I'm getting sick, if you put the Melaleuca, just like a drop of it in your throat, like
Does it
it
really?
goes
Okay.
away. You don't get sick. Like I
I'll
do
have
it
to
to my
try that.
kids even. It's a little strong. Like it takes some getting used to, but at this point it's like the thing that I don't know. I love it. It's like a miracle.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah, I love that you love it. Yeah, so really it's this thing, right, with like the frequency of the body and your vibration raising up out of the density of like lower emotions and lower thoughts. And there's so many ways to do that with Reiki and oils and all,
Yeah.
all of the different healing modalities. And so I just think it's so beautiful that you're open, and I'm just watching you. I mean, it's really only been since the summer. And
I know it hasn't. Wait, when was it? It was a week before the year anniversary of my mom's passing. That was really significant, and it was also on was it a new moon or a full moon?
it was something really significant
It
astrologically.
it was
Maybe a full moon. I forget.
so it's been less than 6 September, 3 months. Oh my gosh, it's only been 3 months. It feels like it's been forever, but it's only been 3 months.
So
So much.
we talk about collapsing time. I do this with my business clients. It's like in your head, you think it's going to take this much time to get to this place or experience this or heal this or whatever. And it's like, you can collapse time. And Reiki, I think, really helps with that. It's like, it's not about time, it's about alignment, right?
Yeah, it is. It's hard to believe. It just hit me that it's only been 3 months. Like, and in my head, it felt like so much longer. And I had gotten to a point where I was almost, I wouldn't say beating myself up, but I was kind of being hard on myself because I thought that I should have been further. And I think the message from spirit for me was that I needed to slow down. There were still some things that I needed to deal with within. Um, and it came out during Scorpio season, ironically enough, season of transformation. Yes, it things that I did not know that I was harboring for the past year and probably beyond, I had been harboring. And the first opportunity that I took to just be still, like literally be still and do nothing, no YouTube, not much social media, just to be with myself, it just like all came up. And I realized because I had been going, like from the door after the Reiki attunements, that I hadn't given myself time to reflect and pause. And I had almost been busying myself to the point of not recognizing that there were other things that I needed to deal with. So over these past few months, I have been really focusing on myself. And I just, coming into December, to be quite honest, I feel like such a different person. And it it amazes me. It amazes me just how much like God has intervened and my spiritual team has intervened and responded to my acts of faith through, them supporting me in so many ways and working through others in my life in so many ways, because we're all in this together. We're all a part of each other's journey in some way or another. And coming into December, the energy has just been, I don't know if it's just, I know it's not just me, but I have been feeling it so strong since we stepped into this month. And picking up on things stronger than I was even a month ago. It's been really interesting. I've been feeling my mom a lot stronger even around. And it's like I live alone, but it's like I don't feel alone. I feel like there's another presence here, but it's not it's a good one. It's just like I come home and sometimes, the stinking thinking will try to come in and be like, well, you're here by yourself now, because me and my mom, we were always together. And so sometimes that'll try to slip in and, bring me down. But it's like now I've stepped into this whole new level of being. I can feel it. It's hard for me to describe. Like, it's hard to describe because it's a feeling, but I can feel that I'm in a different place dramatically, within the past few months even. And it's like I come home and I'm in the space, and in the physical, in the 3D, yes, I'm the only one in my apartment, but I feel like there's something else. And that's the only way that I can describe it. And it's a warmth. It's just a knowing that I'm supported. It's a knowing that I am not alone. And I just feel really blessed and fortunate, like I found my mom's prayer journal last night, that she was gifted right before her or right after her brain surgery. And I read her words and just how strong and how much she praised God even in the midst of all her pain. And I was just like, goodness, such a strong woman, you know. And I wish that I could rejoice in everything I've accomplished in the 3D with her, but I know like that she's here with me, even though she's off doing other things in heaven, you know. But it's it it's just I'm in such a higher place than I was a year ago. Such a higher place.
That's so beautiful. One of my favorite teachers, Matt Kahn, I talk about him a lot, and he says in the third dimension, when we're alone, like we're lonely, we're alone. But then when we go to the fifth dimension, like you just add an L and it becomes all one. And so when you're alone is actually the time that you're most connected and with everything, because that's where you go to that place where we are all one. And it's like the
That's
least
awesome.
loneliest place. So it's beautiful because you're feeling that, you're sensing that already.
It's December. I don't know. I it came in with the month, and yeah, it came in. I really started feeling it the past few days, and I really don't know how to describe it. There's only like, well, now I have a larger circle, so I can't say there's only a few people that I can talk to about it now. But you know, um, it's just something about the energy, something that has shifting. It's amazing. When I gave myself Reiki this morning, I felt so uplifted. Like I literally felt as though my body was elevated. Like I felt elevated in my body, and I have like in any of my Reiki sessions, I haven't felt it that strongly. And and I've just been kind of in and out of tears, but like it's joy. It's just like overflow. And I'm a very feeling person. I'm very feely, so I cry. I'm a crier. um, that's how I express my joy. It's how I express my sadness. But this is all joy what I'm feeling, and it's just absolutely amazing. Like again, I'm not like I don't have expertise in astrology, but I I do know and have been reading about how there's things that are happening astrologically that are pretty significant even now and going into 2020. So I'm really
Mm-hmm.
excited.
And today Jason Estes, another one of my favorite teachers, he was saying that today we're getting a 1 point influx. So it's just 1 point, which is like basically double what we're used to. But this is a whole new one that's physical in our cellular matrix and moving outwards. So he says that one cell can hold like 1 million pictures or something like that from our memories.
Oh, wow.
And today we're experiencing like twice as much energy as what we're used to, and it's getting us ready for what's to come. He says December is quite a restful month. It's kind of like us going into our cave, because when January gets here, it's going to be pretty intense. And so really we're
I'm
using December.
excited.
Yeah, like
I'm ready.
it's coming. And
Yes.
yeah, and so we are doing a Reiki challenge in my Reiki group. I wanted to mention that really fast for anybody who's watching who does Reiki or is interested in Reiki. I have a group on Facebook called Reiki Nahoku, and there's so many of us. Our Reiki community is like, I can't even explain how beautiful it is. Every person is like magic. And so we're doing a challenge, and it starts today, a daily Reiki challenge. And you can do 14 days and that will end on the solstice, or you can do 21 days and then that ends at the full moon eclipse, I believe, or the new moon eclipse. I think it is, because there's a full moon coming. So that would be the new moon. So we're doing the challenge in that group, and it's pretty incredible when there's multiple people. I think that because we are all connected and we're kind of all channeling, because we're all through the same lineage, right? And so as we're all channeling together, it's like strengthening all of us exponentially. It's pretty amazing.
It's
Maybe
awesome.
that's what you're feeling.
Maybe that's what I was feeling because that it was definitely, I had a moment this morning, but it was a beautiful one. It was a beautiful one. I
Yeah.
didn't want to leave out of it, but I had things to do. So
Yeah.
I was like, I can just kind of sit here and, just kind of bask in this love, this energy, it was just really uplifting. And I didn't want to leave it because it did feel so good.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's always
yeah.
there, right? I feel like
Yes.
that's the thing, is like you'll just go back to it when you've got tomorrow or today or whenever you need it.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And so, is there anything that you want to say to anyone who's thinking about trying Reiki that's maybe never had it, or anyone that's thinking about learning Reiki? Um,
Do it. My advice would be do it. Please do it. Like, I fought it for a long time and it chased after me.
yeah, it will do that.
um
Happens.
I gosh, I believe it was the second Reiki attunement, but that opened the only way for me to explain what I felt was to explain it as unconditional love. I was like, this is what unconditional love is. It's energy, but it's just, it envelops you. It cleanses you in a way that words cannot even describe. It allowed me to see myself in ways that I had never been able to see myself before. It connected me to God in a way that I never thought that I would have been worthy enough to connect. Um, it's it's just, and I don't, it's freeing. It's so freeing. And so, to anyone who's interested in Reiki, to anyone who's interested in or curious about taking the step, exploring it, please do it. You will not regret it. It does no harm. It can do nothing but bring light to your life, and it is such a blessing. It is such a blessing, and I'm thankful for it.
That's amazing. I'm not paying her to say this.
No.
So beautiful to see this transformation in your life, and just all of it. It was that day was such a beautiful day, those days. And
Yes.
yeah, do you want to say anything about the connections? Because that's another thing. A lot of people aren't expecting to come and be connected with others in that way, or they're
Uh,
surprised by that.
yes. Okay. As a very introverted person, um, that was one of the things I was nervous about, was meeting others. Because of my history, and everybody has their own path, I've just always been hesitant when it comes to connecting with people on a social level. And it kind of goes back to, the self-limiting beliefs and, lack of self-love, all of that. It's all kind of interconnected. But there, when you walk in, one thing you can know is that you're going in connecting with people who are in essence looking for the same thing you are looking for. In a way, you do walk in with having that one thing in common. Even if you all come from different backgrounds, you have the Reiki in common, and that's what connects you on a level that's unimaginable. I've never been able to say that I had like a lot of female friends. um my circle anyway has always been small, but Reiki has expanded it exponentially, actually. um, and it's just so beautiful. And for me, what made my experience special in the Reiki sessions was being able to share it with a lot of other mothers. Because I'm not a mother, but I'm a daughter of a very brilliant one. And having, lost my mom, um, it meant a lot to me to be able to share in the energy with all these other women who were beautiful mothers and who had that motherly love, and to be able to connect with that. It, for me, it was meant to be. In a way, I know mom was smiling because it was like she couldn't be here in the 3D, but I was still able to experience that motherly love and connection, you know, through others who I will always share that connection with. They will always be my Reiki sisters. We will have always shared this experience, you know, and it's just an absolutely beautiful thing. So if you do decide to take the course, you know, um, go in knowing that you're going to come out so much better and so much richer than you went in. You're going to feel so much more love than you've ever felt than before you went in. You're going to leave, you know, with forever friends, because, you know, you may not talk every day, but you will always have that connection. And that was one of the major blessings for me, being able to connect with these other women, to hear their stories, to know that, you know, we're not alone in this. We all have our own struggles, but, you know, through Reiki, we heal ourselves, we heal each other, and it's just like a never ending circle, and it's beautiful.
So beautiful. It's really the reason that I think I've been able to do this for so long without, there's always challenges in life and ups and downs, but then just Reiki really like will find your people and bring you, and every circle is divinely ordered and every class is divinely ordered. And my classes are small. I keep them small because, the intimacy there and the healing that's created in a small group is just so powerful.
It
So
is.
I'm so
It is.
thankful that you trusted me and drove all the way
I'm
to
thankful for
Portland
it.
for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about where people can find you, because
Okay.
you're offering sessions now too. So if anyone's feeling called to get a session with Kiayana, you can do distance sessions, you're doing in-person sessions in your area. So how do people
Yes.
find you?
Okay, so you can either Google Aurora Creative Healing.
Aurora Creative. It's Aurora. Sorry.
Yes, Aurora, Creative Healing. So either you can Google that, or you can go to auroracreativehealing.com. All of my information is there. You can see everything that I offer. You can also find me on Facebook under Aurora Creative Healing, on Instagram, Aurora Creative Healing 1111, and on YouTube, Aurora Creative Healing. So pretty much, if you Google Aurora Creative Healing, you'll find me.
Awesome. That is so exciting. And I just can't wait to,
I'm so excited.
yeah, this
And it's just beginning. It's only been 3 months. Every time I think about that, I'm really excited about the future.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And it sounds like you're preparing or planning to possibly get your Reiki master in
Oh,
the
I am definitely
2020.
getting my Reiki master. It is happening. 2020, I'm getting my master level in Reiki. I want to be able to teach. That I think that was one of the biggest revelations that I had during my second degree attunement, is that I need to share this with others.
Mm-hmm.
I need to share it with others. So
You do. I agree. I agree. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being here. I apologize for all the technical difficulties in the beginning, but it was so worth having
it
you and
was.
hearing your stories. Is there any last words or advice or wisdom that you would like to share before we complete this call?
I just want to say thank you to everyone. I want to say thank you to those who I haven't connected with yet. I want to say thank you to everyone that I have, because you've all been an intricate part of my journey. Alicia, thank you again for all of your wisdom and being my mentor and my spiritual sister. I really appreciate it. And thank you to my spiritual team and my mom. I just feel a need to say thank you. That's the biggest thing right now, that to show that gratitude, because I would not be where I am if it wasn't for my spiritual team and my team here on earth. So I love you guys so much.
Oh, I love you so much. I'm so thankful that you took the time out of your Saturday and just that you're here shining your light. Every time I see your videos, every time I see your posts, every time I see your face, I'm just, you're such a beaming light. And
Thank you.
the world has, the world's ready for you and you're ready. And it's just so inspiring. It just feeds me. It makes me so grateful for you and for all the teachers that I've had and for this path. And in this world that can look so crazy sometimes and so chaotic, and we can feel lost and we can feel so alone. And this path is really so full of love and light and sometimes challenges, right? Like when you start all with a Reiki or anything, any spiritual journey, all the things that don't resonate, they come to the surface.
They definitely do. But it's for your betterment. So
Yeah. And we're all ready. It's time for that, right? So
yeah.
here we are.
Here
So
we are.
thank you so much, Kiayana.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to share this. And I guess what I'll do is once we're done, I'll figure out how to end the Facebook. And then thank you, everyone. Please reach out to Kiayana, find her wherever you may want. We're going to be watching for your daily medicine. Or your morning medicine. Is that what you're calling the morning?
Yes.
Medicine? Yep. So morning medicine and everything that's to come. Thank you so much for being here, Kiayana.
Thank you.
See you soon. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.